Hello everyone, my name is Rachel and today I'm going to show you how to make your own collage postcards. Okay, so firstly you're going to need a base for your postcard. I'm using a pack of blank postcards by the brand Recollections. If you don't have something similar, you could use a thick piece of cardstock and you cut it to a 4x6 size to use it instead. Next step is you're going to need to create a background. In this clear pouch I have a bunch of paper scraps that I've saved from various projects, so I'm picking out a few in the color scheme that I want to use. So as you can see here, I'm just arranging the paper scraps as the background for my postcard. I picked out a bunch of like really pretty like pinks and blues, and there's some ripped up paper from an old Alice in Wonderland book. The paper that's at the top there, the brown one, that's actually part of like a Lush bag. So it's just some brown paper there that I'm gluing at the top. So what I did next was I picked up the postcard and I'm just cutting off any of the excess paper that hung over the edge. So I'm just cutting it to fit the shape of the postcard so nothing is like hanging over anymore. This piece of paper here is just a paint chip, so I thought it was really pretty. It complemented the other pinks nicely, so I'm just gluing that on the top as well, and I believe this is going to finish off the base for my collage postcard. Okay, so I'm just making sure everything is glued tight, and then in this box it is a bunch of different like scraps of things, different lots of ephemera that I've gotten from my pen pals. So I'm just picking out a few little things that I'm going to add to decorate my collage postcard. There's like stickers, there's some die cuts. Okay, so the next portion here is going to be the decorating process. So this is going to be the second layer to your DIY postcard. So I'm just playing around with all the ephemera pieces, trying to figure out where I want everything, making sure it's very pretty. The butterfly is gorgeous, but I didn't end up using it because I thought it didn't really complement the color as well. So I chose the dragonfly, and I honestly really love how this turned out. It's got little gold accents on it as well, and I think it fits the piece really, really nicely. Okay, so here I have a book. It's by Tim Holtz. It's called Ideology, and it just has a bunch of sayings, like little sweet sentences and whatnot. If you don't have something similar to this, you could always type up whatever caption you want for the postcard, or you could also just write it out and cut it up however you see fit, or you could cut words from a book as well and then glue them on. So I'm just placing them here. I almost put the wrong one, so they would have been out of order, but I ended up fixing it, and I'm just finding a good spot for them on the postcard. Okay, so as a next step I'm taking Mod Podge. This one has a matte finish. I'm just trying to open it here, and I'm going to be covering the entire postcard with it to seal everything in place. It dries clear, which is nice. So if you don't have anything similar to this to kind of like seal everything in on the postcard so it won't peel up in transit, you could also cover it in packing tape, the clear, it's like quite thick or wide packing tape, and just tape it on in strips and cover up the postcard so that nothing bad will happen to it. Postcard, I'm going to be making 2. So I'm just going through again some of the paper scraps that I had chosen before. I really love that potted plant one. That's from, it's just scrapbook paper that I got from Michael's, and then the brown paper again is just like a paper bag from the store Lush. So I'm just playing around with it again. That's just a piece of magazine as well. I apologize for it being a little bit to the right. I fix it in a second. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just playing around again with how I want everything, testing out different pieces, seeing what looks good. So again, you're just going to want to glue down everything to make the background for your collage postcard. So I'm just making sure this time that everything fits to the corner. There's just a little scrap there, so I ripped that off. And then I'm gluing down the larger potted plant picture. So I'm just adding some more of the brown paper to it. I play around with this a lot, trying to figure out where I want it. You know, I was like, is that cute? Yes, no, no, moved it again, and I ended up putting that aside again, and I picked up another piece of scrapbook paper. This one's really, really pretty. It has some terrariums on it, so I decided to cut one out of the paper, and I'm going to glue it on as like a little embellishment as some of the decoration for the postcard. So I'm just cutting it out here. Sorry, my camera fell over, so that's why the shot changed. So again, I'm taking the Tim Holtz book and I'm going to be picking out another little saying for the card. The one I end up choosing, it says, "You are capable of becoming more than you realize." So I thought that was really, really sweet, and I think it complements the card nicely, you know, because it has it's like a lot of greenery with all the plants, and you know, plants kind of start off in the dirt and everything, and they grow into something really, really beautiful. again, I'm just going to seal up the card with some Mod Podge. I used a really generous heap on this card, as you're about to see, so I had to spread it around quite a bit. It made it kind of like opaque at the top, but I just kind of smoothed it out. One thing I did learn is that you're going to want to go in the all in the same direction. So I learned that from the first card, so I'm just doing that again on this one. If I spread it one way, I'm going to go back over and make sure it's all left to right instead. It turned out really, really well though. If I was going to redo this again, I would choose a different brown paper, maybe some brown like craft paper or something like that, because the brown paper bag that I used, when I put the Mod Podge on top, it did start to wrinkle underneath. So I think that's just because I got the bag wet. It didn't wrinkle at all with the glue, but it wrinkled after I put the Mod Podge on top, so that was a little bit sad, but I think it still turned out pretty well. Okay, so I wasn't just throwing up the peace sign there, I just wanted to show that I was going to put a second layer on my first card that I made with the dragonfly, just because I kind of spread it really thin the first time and I thought that I needed a second one. I don't believe that I said it before, but the words on this postcard say travel the world over to find the beautiful, which I thought was really fitting with the dragonfly because they can go wherever they'd like. Okay, so if you're using Mod Podge, you just need to set it aside to dry, and then you're done. So these are the finished product. I think they turned out really cute. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see more crafting videos from me, you can subscribe, and I hope that you all have a wonderful day.